Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris, your real estate problem solver. Are you thinking about moving to Warner Robins, or are you a military member and your service duty is PCSing you to Warner Robins? Well, come with me and I'll show you all the ins and outs about how living in Warner Robins can be good or bad for you, and you can make a decision for yourself if it's the best thing for your family. So come on. And while you're here, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, make comments below. And if you have any questions about real estate especially, make sure to contact me and I can get you started. So let's get into it. Okay, so before we get into all the fun stuff, let's take a little trip down memory lane. Warner Robins was originally started as Wellston Farming Community back around 1941 when Charles Watson and some of the leaders from Bibb County at the time petitioned to get the contract for what is now called Robins Air Force Base to be built. Well, of course, with the help of World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, all the backing and support that pushed Warner Robins Air Force Base into what it is now, it spread like wildfire right down Watson Boulevard and then later down to Russell Parkway. Since then, Russell Parkway has been extended out to I-75, and now the town of Warner Robins has grown almost to the city limits of Perry. Of course, that is now it's become a vibrant city with full of businesses and neighborhoods. So, and there's more things to do than you can shake a stick at. But that's kind of the reason why it is now dubbed the Little Atlanta. So let's get into the main overview of what Warner Robins looks like with the main roads. All right, so let's see how easy it is to navigate Little Atlanta, or Warner Robins as we call it. Going from north to south, on the east side, you've got Highway 247, which is also State Road 129. That's your ticket to the base. It goes right down the front of the base, and it actually divides Robins Air Force Base from the city of Warner Robins. On the west side, you have Interstate I-75, which goes from the Florida-Georgia line, see what I did there, all the way up to Warner Robins, through Macon, and then on to Atlanta. Now, halfway between those two, we've got our midtown connection of Houston Lake Road, which connects the two main east to west roads and kind of connects all your shopping and eating places together. Okay, now going from east to west, on the north side we've got Watson Boulevard, which is our granddaddy main thoroughfare for Warner Robins. If you need anything in Warner Robins, you can pretty much get it on Watson Boulevard, but I would definitely steer clear of it during Christmas holidays. Next, we've got Russell Parkway, which is Watson's little sidekick just south. Runs parallel with Watson Boulevard. Recently, in around 2005-06, Russell was extended out to I-75. So there's not as much out on that half of Russell Parkway. So most of what you're going to see on Russell is from Houston Lake Road back towards the base. And then lastly, you've got Highway 96 on the far south side. Now, that road holds the newer up-and-coming parts of town. Some of the newer neighborhoods on the side closer to the base, and then of course your shopping and restaurants are on the farther side of 96 from Houston Lake out to Highway 41, which is almost to I-75, and head down towards Perry. So it's kind of the new kid on the block, but more popular. All right, so if you're living in Warner Robins, of course you're going to have utilities when you move into your house. So the first thing that you're going to need is electricity, which that's going to be covered by Flint Energy over pretty much all of Houston County. So you can do 99% of any business with Flint Energy online, but if you need to go to the actual building, that would be at Carl Vinson and Russell Parkway. They've got a building right on Russell Parkway. Now, not a lot of houses around Warner Robins have gas, but if you do, the most common companies that service natural gas are going to be Georgia Natural Gas or Gas South. City, trash, water, of course, that's going to be the city and county utility buildings, offices. It kind of depends on whether or not you have a house in the city or in the county. So check and find out where your house lies before you make contact with them. And then, of course, your internet and phone, depending on where you're at, those are kind of regional. But the most common companies that we have out here providing service is going to be AT&T, Cox Communication, and Hargray. But check your area, because some regions overlap, and you may be able to choose between one or two companies and get the best deals. So if you're living in the city of Warner Robins, of course, you're going to need to know where the government offices are. This right here is going to be your city hall for Warner Robins, and this is right up the hill from Robins Air Force Base main gate and the City of Warner Robins Police Department on Watson Boulevard. This is where you're going to get a lot of your building permits, your city taxes, utilities taken care of, and so forth. So while your city hall and your city police are over on Watson Boulevard next to the Robins Air Force Base, the county annex buildings, which have recently been remodeled, are over here on Carl Vinson. And this is where you're going to get your county property taxes, tags, and the county sheriff's department. Now, the main county courthouse is actually in Perry, and it's going to be on the 341 bypass in Perry. All right, so if you're going to be doing any kind of business with the Houston County or Warner Robins, chances are you're probably going to end up right here. This is the Houston County Courthouse on the 341 bypass. Now, to get down here, you're going to be going from Warner Robins to Perry, and the most common routes are going to be Houston Lake Road and Highway 41. Both of those will come in here to the 341 bypass. You're going to take a left and just come on around the circle until you see the Houston County Courthouse right here. Now, this is where you're going to find all your grand tour, grantee index, warranty deeds, court records, lien records, and the probate office is going to be in here as well. So if you need anything that pertains to the legal system for Houston County and Warner Robins, come on down here, and this is where you're going to be ending up. And of course, what kind of tour guide would I be if I didn't talk about Robins Air Force Base? So of course, you can't live in Warner Robins without seeing Robins Air Force Base, because probably about 75% of the whole town works there. So if you're military PCSing into Robins Air Force Base, the gates that you're going to be looking for are going to be from north to south. The Green Street Gate, which is right off of Green Street. The main gate, which comes straight in from Watson Boulevard. If you look over my shoulder right here where it says Warner Robins, welcome to Warner Robins, this is actually Watson behind me. And over here is actually the Watson entrance to Robins Air Force Base. So if you're coming into town, you can hit I-75 and hit the Watson exit, and then just come straight down Watson, and it'll take you right into the Watson gate. All right, and if you need some help with some landmarks, right across the street, you've actually got the new sheriff's office with the 3 flags in the front. So it's kind of hard to miss. Just come down Watson, you see that, you know you're right here at the Watson gate. Next, you're going to have the commercial gate, where all the commercial vendors and trucks come in for deliveries across from the Memorial Park. And then also on the far south, you've got the Russell Gate, which actually you have to get onto Russell Parkway to get in, because it goes over a bridge over Highway 247. All right, so next is going to be our medical facilities. Now, you're in the south, so if you ain't getting hurt, you ain't having fun. So you're going to need to know where the medical facilities are. All right, so start off with the main hospital for Houston County is going to be the Houston Medical Center. Now, that's right dead center in Watson Boulevard, and it also has a surgical center right on the corner for a lot of the freelance physicians to do freelance work. And just so you know, the emergency entrance for the hospital is around back off of Houston Drive. Ask me how I know. And of course, the medical professionals are immediately around the hospital, but there is also another concentration of medical professionals out on the other end of Watson Boulevard, around the corners of Osage Boulevard and Margie Drive. So this is where a lot of concentration of doctors are going to be, from physicians, neurosurgery, dentistry, physical therapy, chiropractics, take your pick. So if you're looking for other medical professionals, that would be another area to look for them. Now again, if you are familiar with Warner Robins and you want to make some suggestions, make sure to put comments down below to help the rest of the people that are coming in and out of Warner Robins get these resources that they need. And of course, give us a thumbs up. So now on with the show. What you've been waiting for? All the fun stuff. All right, so now that we're getting into the fun stuff, let's look at some of the entertainments and facilities that Warner Robins has to offer. Now, of course, at the top of the list is going to be Robins Museum of Aviation. Now, this growing facility is actually got tons of planes all over the place and is a great family event to go to. It's one of the largest aviation museums in the country. It's got full displays that explains the history of the planes, history of how planes were used in the military, and the evolution of the aviation up to this point. I even helped put a couple of those planes in that museum. Next, we go to Rigby's Entertainment Complex. Now that is going to be out on Highway 96, almost to Lake Joy. Now, Rigby's has got your bowling, it's got the arcade games, go-karts, and during the summertime, before it gets to Labor Day weekend, you've got your splash pad and water slides. Next, for the adults, we've got a few bars and pubs. A couple of my favorites are Black Barley, which is a nice pub for good food, and they are near the corner of Watson Boulevard and Lake Joy. And then you've got Tap and Pour. Again, just like Black Barley, they've got a lot of custom brews and food. Good place to hang out, talk with friends. And they are at the corner of Fagan Mill and Moody Road, which is a little bit closer to Robins Air Force Base. One more place that you might want to be interested in is called Splinter's Axe House. And it's exactly what you think it is. If you feel a little bit of adventurous, you might want to go try them. They've recently become a pretty popular hangout. Spend some time with friends and literally see what sticks to the wall. Now, of course, these are not the only entertainment around Warner Robins, but it's a good start. Now, I will mention that we do have a Facebook page courtesy of the Robins Chamber of Commerce called Robins 2 Go. So look them up and you can pretty much find any entertainment, any business that's advertising on there, and they will put out for events, they will put out for new specials that they're offering, and that would be a great place to find these little holes in the wall and try them out. You know, take one for every day of the week. Now, if you want entertainment that's a little less lively, try a little bit of golf. Of course, we've got all the military officers around here, so we've got to have a golf course around here somewhere, right? We do. International City Golf Course is actually at 72 Play Golf Lane Drive, which is right off of Sandy Run. Now, Sandy Run runs between 247 on the south side of the base out to Moody Road. So take a look at them and see if that's someplace you might want to hit a few balls. The next place you might want to try, which is even closer to the base, is Southern Landings Golf Club, formerly known as Statham's Landing Golf Club. Reason being because it's on 309 Statham's Way in Statham's Landing subdivision. And also, we have another one way out at Houston Lake Road. Houston Lake Country Club. That's at 100 Champions Way, and it's a beautiful place to try out, so take a look at them too. So, of course, we've got to be well-rounded and make sure we cover all the bases. So, let's look into a little bit of family entertainment. Now, we've got a lot of parks and recreational areas around Houston County. I've actually created a video of the parks and recreation areas in Middle Georgia. So, take a look at this link above and take a look at those and see if any of those would be of interest to you. They all cover some kind of a playground. One or two of them have fishing holes. A lot of them have splash pads and pickleball out the wazoo, basketball, whole playgrounds, you name it. All right, so now we'd be a little bit remiss if I didn't give you a tour of Warner Robins and show you where all the shopping and dining is. So, here we go with the shopping and dining. There's a lot of great places, but if you want to, for time-wise, hit the most places in the short amount of time, your highest concentration of restaurants and dining is actually going to be on Highway 96 from Houston Lake Road to Lake Joy Drive. Now that area's got a big collection of attractions like Publix, Kroger's, 5-Star Nissan, Turner's Furniture, and of course Lowe's, building supplies, and then tons of restaurants. And a lot of these restaurants that we have are locally owned and operated, so they're not going to be franchises. So pick one every day of the week, try them all out, and see all the culinary delights that the people of Warner Robins have created. The next concentration of stores and dining is going to be on Watson Boulevard around Houston Lake Road. So that area is going to have a lot of your big box stores and everything from Target. They've got Academy, Hobby Lobby, Best Buy, Office Depot, and so forth. And of course, there again, they've got tons of franchise and locally owned restaurants. So again, pick one every day of the week and try them all and see all the different culinary delights that you can come up with. And then if you're building your own house when you're moving to Warner Robins, the places that you're going to want to know about is, again, Lowe's at Lake Joy and Highway 96. There's another Lowe's at Carl Vinson and Watson Boulevard. And that's also where Home Depot is and Warner Robins Supply, which is our locally owned and operated building supply store. All right, so I've told you about all the facilities. I told you about the government buildings. But I still haven't told you about a place to live. That would be kind of important, wouldn't it? I imagine so. So, now, if you're interested in a place to live, of course, I've got a full playlist on Real Estate Problem Solver. So check out our playlist of all the community tours of all the neighborhoods, well, as many of the neighborhoods as we could record, and see if any of them tickle your fancy. Now, the ones that I will highlight here real quick, just to give you an idea, first one would be Charlestown subdivision. Charlestown is off of Sandy Run and Highway 247. It's just a couple miles south of the base. That area is a kind of a middle to, it's about a middle-priced neighborhood. It's a nice little neighborhood. The front half was built first, of course. Unfortunately, they pay the HOAs. The back half is a newer section, and they don't have to pay the HOAs. It's kind of a curious situation. The next one would be Somerset, Somer. So Somerset is a large subdivision. There's 3 different sections of Somerset from 2000, 2005, all the way up to now. And those are more of your middle to high price point houses. A lot of them, the early ones are 3 and 4 bedroom. And then the other older ones, or the newer ones, the newer ones are now 4 and 5 bedroom houses, very large. So take a look at them if you're looking for something that will hold a bigger family. The next neighborhood I'd mention would be Kentshire Run. Now, Kentshire Run is off of Fagan Mill and Peach Blossom. So find Fagan Mill and then turn south on Peach Blossom and you'll be right there. Now, there's 3 sections in that area, and there's a video that we just recently did because we just recently rehabbed a house on Sheldon Ridge in Kentshire. So these are all 3-bedroom houses, mostly either brick face or all vinyl siding houses, usually about a quarter to 0.15 acres. Some of them have 0.4 acres or a third of an acre. So take a look at them if you're looking for something in the lower price points. Also, another area that's in that same price point, when I say lower, at the time of this video, lower price points are running between $190 to $240. Another subdivision that's farther down Fagan Mill would be Tyson Glen, Tyson, Tyson Glen. That area has a few brick houses, pretty much anything from around 2000 all the way up till now. They're all mostly 3-bedroom houses. There's a few 4 bedrooms kind of in the mix, but it's a good little neighborhood. So take a look at them. All right, so now if you are, of course, the outdoorsy type, we already talked about the parks and recreation, but I did forget to mention, if you like going outdoors, you might be interested in doing some fishing. So there are a few fishing holes around the area that you might be interested in. One would be Tobesofkee Lake, which is out the other side of Byron. You would have to actually get on I-75 and go north to get to it, but it's in Macon, and it's a good little hole that good place for fishing, boating, skiing, a lot of activities there. And there's even Sandy Beach, which has a water park that the kids might be interested in. And then the next one that's more local is actually on Houston Lake Road. It's called Houston Lake. If you can find Houston Lake, you can find Houston Lake Country Club, because they're right beside it, as you'll see here. This one will house a few boats. They do have some horsepower restrictions, but it's a beautiful lake and lots of good fishing. And then, of course, if you want to venture a little bit farther out, we have Lake Jackson, Lake Sinclair, Lake Lanier, if you want to go that far. And then down south of us, we have Lake Blackshear, which is the popular crappie fishing area for this region. Now, since we do have a lot of military coming into Warner Robins, living in Warner Robins also has to include possibilities of promotions and higher education. So let's get into some of the colleges we've got. Of course, we've got Central Georgia Technical College. This area is actually off of Houston Lake Road on Cohen Walker Drive. Middle Georgia State University is right off of out of the Robins Air Force Base main gate. It is right across the street from Warner Robins City Hall. So take a look at them. And then, of course, Georgia Military College. Now, Georgia Military College is right across Highway 247 on North Davis. So take a look at Georgia Military College on North Davis and see if they've got any classes or courses that would help you get to the career that you want to get to. Now, while you're living in Warner Robins, make sure to keep an eye out for the local festivals and events that we have going on year round. One of them that you might be interested in is the International City Festival. Now, that one takes place in downtown area of Warner Robins. Next, we also have Independence celebrations. We have quite a few fireworks festivals, one which usually goes on around the Warner Robins High School football stadium. And then there's a lot of various other ones that go on throughout. And then, of course, we have our local farmers market in select areas of Warner Robins. There's one that is actually on the City Hall grounds, recreation grounds, that is usually on Thursday. You might want to check that out. Now, if you want to find out what current events are going on, like I said, you can check out Robins to Go, and they will usually announce events that are going on around town at that Facebook group. And then there's also, you can go to the Facebook events, and a lot of events that are going on around, or special events for restaurants and bars and pubs, will announce them on the Facebook groups for special events. Well, there you go, guys. That's our little tour of Warner Robins. I hope you enjoyed it. Living in Warner Robins is not as hustle and bustle as Atlanta, but we are growing about as fast as Atlanta. So what we don't have that we're lacking from Atlanta, of course, we make up for in the Southern charm and the small town mentality. So if you decide that you want to move to Warner Robins, living in Warner Robins is your cup of tea, then I would definitely be glad to help you get settled in and make this place home. So I hope you enjoyed our little drive. If you have any questions, make comments below and reach out to me and let me know what you, whatever it is that you need. I'll see if I can provide it for you. I'm Chris, your real estate problem solver. Check us out at realestateproblemsolver.com, and I'll talk to you on the next video.